My name is Irina Chulsky, and I came to the United States as part of Jews from Russia immigrating from Soviet Union. We left Russia in 1987 and arrived to the United States in January of 1988. So starting with preschool, I knew I was different. I knew I looked different. I knew some people didn't like Jews. And then we all knew that after high school, if you want to apply for college, there are only certain schools in Moscow that would accept Jews. The other ones would take your documents, you would go through exams, but you will never be accepted. Where to apply for a job, and even places that seemed benign could tell you that no, we can't take you, we have no availability, when the real reason was they already had 3 Jews in the lab and they didn't want another one. Because it was forbidden, any religion was forbidden, and because you were watched and you didn't want to have any problems with authorities, it was difficult to find out the heritage, to find out the history. And also, when I decided I wanted to learn Hebrew, I always felt watched by the agents, and they were openly doing this because it was a way to intimidate us. When I was going to Hebrew lessons, I was taking a bus, and on the bus stop near the building where my teacher lived, there was a KGB agent openly watching people getting off the bus. At the entrance to the building, there was another guy standing there just watching. We did have fear, but we also were defiant. When we realized we could apply and maybe we could leave, it was such a hope. We didn't have any doubts about it. When we first applied for an exit visa, it was my parents and I. I was 21. I finished 4 years of college. We applied in 79 and we were denied the exit visa. And while we were waiting all these years, I got married. I finished my degree. I went to night school and I had 2 children. And we were finally allowed to leave Soviet Union. It was my parents, my husband and I, and our 2 boys, aged 5 and 3. The journey from Moscow through Europe to the United States was scary and wonderful at the same time. So at that time, it would involve stop in Vienna, where HIAS, the Jewish charity organization, helped us. We stayed there for about 3 weeks, and then they put us on the train from Vienna to Rome. In the suburbs of Rome, we stayed for another month and a half, going through American clearance, interviews, medical exams. The reason we came to Lynn, to Jewish community of the North Shore, was because my parents' friends arrived here 6 months before us, and they vouched for us. Jewish Family Service, they had an agreement with one of the building managements in Lynn. They were renting an apartment for us for 4 months in that building. Different families volunteered through synagogues. So we had several couples who were helping us to figure out what's what. The whole journey was very difficult for the boys. The little one was enrolled in a preschool at Jewish Community Center, and I went there to volunteer because I couldn't leave them. And then they hired me a year after, and I ended up working at the preschool for 10 years and having another child. And it was very good for the children, and it was actually very good for me too, because that's how I learned a lot of things about Judaism. That's how my children were getting the education, and that's how I could see how the children are raised in America. And it was very different from what I knew before. So it helped me very much with understanding and being there with my kids and helping them. I love this country. We became big patriots of this country. The positive experience is made by ourselves too. I mean, of course, it's created by environment in part, but in part It's the way you take it, you accept it, and you work on your life. I think the positive view comes from inside too.
To support Greater Lynn Senior Services and see more videos like these, please consider making a donation at the link below and subscribe to our channel.